This habitual offender faced the structured consequences of the system, so the judge mapped out a rigid path he must follow or fall.
All right, so how often do you drink alcohol? I'm sure after your DWI first, you said to that judge, oh, I no longer drink alcohol. And then when you pick up the second one, oh, Your Honor, I no longer drink alcohol. So obviously you have an issue with alcohol. Obviously, you cannot drink alcohol at all because you can't stop when you start. It would have been so easy for this person that you had the car accident with to have been by you. And then you would have been here crying, and your family members probably would have been saying, please don't send him to prison. He's a good guy. Have you ever known someone who said, my intention when I went out drinking was to become intoxicated and kill somebody? Nobody ever says that, but it ends up happening. So the court is going to sentence you to 7 years in the prison. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 010581, State versus Macedonio Claudio Jr. Can I have parties announce?
Andrew Harris Adelman, State.
Survey bar for Mr. Macedonio Claudio.
And are you Mr. Claudio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all discovery and did you review it with your client?
We have to.
Probation, this is an application. And Mr. Claudio, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated, third or more, as a third-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, I'm sorry, I need that one back. This one's the one that's not signed. Sorry about that. Oops. It is getting a little bit crazy today. Just 1 second. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights. Did you understand? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe that.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Claudio, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 7 years in the prison, and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense is at the plea?
It's probation, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, probation. Thank you.
It is otherwise, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry about that. State, did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, ignition interlock for half the term, DWI intervention, VIP live. Well, you're not allowed to drink alcohol while you're on probation. And there's to be 2-year driver's license suspension. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your
And did you also understand that as a condition of your probation, the court could sentence you up to 10 years in the Bear County Jail? All right. Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? State any evidence?
Contained in exhibit 1 and attachments, Judge.
Honor. No objections.
All right, state you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports and judgments, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just asked the court to follow the plea agreement and entered into after a couple different discussions, not just with the ADAs, but Mr. Claudio himself. He's willing and able to handle any requirements that the court would impose in this probation, and I think that the gravity and seriousness of what he was facing here is actually quite helpful in terms of him being ready to do these things and take responsibility.
All right, and with regards to Woolsey, state, is there restitution for Britton Woolsey?
No, Your Honor, all of their costs were completely covered by liability insurance.
All right, and there's no deductible for them?
If there was, they did not mention.
All right, thank you. So probation, there's no restitution. All right, so how often do you drink alcohol?
How long? Your Honor.
Well, I mean, I'm sure after your DWI first, you said to that judge, oh, I no longer drink alcohol. And then when you pick up the second one, oh, Your Honor, I no longer drink alcohol. So obviously you have an issue with alcohol. Obviously you cannot drink alcohol at all because you can't stop when you start. It would have been so easy for this person that you had the car accident with to have been killed by you. And then you would have been here crying, and your family members probably would have been saying, please don't send him to prison. He's a good guy. Counsel, you've done a lot of DWIs. Have you ever had a client or known someone who said, my intention when I went out drinking was to become intoxicated and kill somebody?
Amen.
Nobody ever says that, but it ends up happening. So what I will tell you, when you're on probation, and it's not just for DWIs, it's for any probation case, you're not allowed to drink alcohol, period. If you drink alcohol, that's a violation of your probation. And in this case, if your probation is violated, you're looking at potentially 7 years in the prison. And what I do know is usually when people have DWIs and they go to prison, they end up serving the majority of that time. So what do you do for a living?
I work for a company called 4840 Solutions. It's a pallet company. We break down old pallets and rebuild new ones and sell them. I've been there nearly 2 years, 3 years, 8 months.
And what have you been doing to seek to maintain your sobriety?
started going to lifetime recovery outpatient. I attend AA. I am enrolled, it starts May 3rd, I'm enrolled to the DWI intervention. I completed the VIP, the victim impact. I have my certificate for that.
Mhm.
And staying busy, work and home and with my family like I should have been doing.
Mhm. All right. And do you have any minor children?
My youngest is 12 going on 13.
All right. So, council, there is 10 days required at the Bear County Jail. Sometimes in exchange for that, I will do partial GPS, but it will be partial GPS for work only.
Understood, Your Honor, and that's what we would ask respectfully, Your Honor. He is maintaining this job, and it is that's one of the main reasons is that he's helping to support not only his son who lives in the home who has some special needs, but also his wife and his mother as well. So I know that is exactly an important part of it. He understands what he stands to lose with that, so he will comply with all requirements.
All right. So if it's GPS, usually I waive the fees on that. They say there's a free GPS out there somewhere with no fees. I've never seen it. It's a unicorn. But with the GPS with the waive fees, probation may be able to do that with him through the probation, or he may have to go to the jail to pick it up from there.
Understood.
All right. So the court is going to sentence you to 7 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs with testing for alcohol, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, TAP evaluation out of custody, follow recommendations. There will be 30 days partial GPS for employment, waive fees, and that will be in lieu of 10 days in the Bear County Jail. State, do you have any objections to the defendant serving time on GPS as opposed to 10 days in the Bear County Jail? All right. And so that the record can be clear, the court is doing this because one, I think it would be a hardship for you to serve the 10 days in jail. You'd probably lose your employment. And also there is an overcrowding issue at the jail. There are health issues at the jail. I've toured the jail. There is mold at the jail. So that is why it's 30 days. There's going to be ignition interlock, half the term. You don't have ignition interlock on any vehicles you have access to. So if those vehicles belong to persons who are living at your home, you must have GPS on those. 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's complete, the 200 hours will be deemed satisfied. DWI intervention, DWI education, and probation. Some of these classes he's already completed or he is almost completed. He can receive credit for that. VIP live, 2-year driver's license suspension. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Probation, is there anything else? Okay. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Honor,
Yes.
I allow to look for new employment since I started my job after taxes. I was getting like 560. They cut our hours. My checks are coming out like 300 something or something.
Oh, yes, you're allowed to look for new employment. All right, just speak with probation about that. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I hope I don't need to tell you this again. There are some people who are driving around. They're just trying to go to a football game, Texas Friday Night Lights thing, or either they're driving somebody during the daytime. Everybody's just trying to get to their destination safely. And in Bexar County, there's an issue with people drinking and driving. They become impaired and they think they're not impaired. And then you end up with accidents and people dying. And then it's a tragedy. And let me just tell you, the public feels little to no sympathy to the person who's intoxicated and they hit someone and then they come to court crying, I never meant to do that. I have a family to support. So if you're not going to maintain your sobriety for yourself, which is really who it should be about, then maintain it for your son that you're supporting. You understand? If you ever need anything, let probation know. If you feel like they're not addressing it, you can come back to the court. If you feel like I'm about to stray from my sobriety, call probation, speak to your sponsor. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can come back to the court and we'll see what we can do to help you. All right? All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
This man at a fork, weighed by his past, stood ready, so the judge set clear rules for the road ahead.
All right. So how long have you been using?
Been using for about 10 years,
How old were you when you first used?
20.
Okay. Why did you start?
A lot of depression, and I didn't have my family.
All right. So who is your support system? What family members?
My mom.
All right. Have you been to prison before?
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
For the same thing.
For
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what are all these tattoos about?
Tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I just have love for my city.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to see if probation thinks that's love for the city or love for groups. I think it may be love for more than your city, right? Here's the thing. I understand sometimes when people go into prison, they develop an affiliation with groups that have love for their cities because that's what you need to make it through prison, right? The court is going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison